Hi guys, and welcome back to AKA Mama. Did you know that whether you're breastfeeding a boy or a girl, that actually has an impact on your breast milk? I surely didn't know that, and this is what has brought me back here. So for those of you that have been following my channel, you'd be aware that I was on a small break, but I'm back. A few days ago, I saw a post on Facebook, which I found absolutely interesting. It was so captivating for me. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to be back out there. I need to reconnect with my community. These are the kind of things I want to be talking about, discussing, and just hearing your views on the topic. I'm not sure if I was the only one in the dark on this one, but I'm just going to dive into it. Before I do that, I did contemplate asking you guys to just read the article, but it's super long and I figured nobody's going to do that. So I'm doing you the lovely favor of reading it for you. All right, so it was from the Facebook page, This Day in History. She discovered that breast milk changes based on whether you're feeding a son or daughter, and it meant everything we thought we knew about milk was wrong. That immediately caught my attention because I'm like, those of you that have watched my video on breastfeeding and where I speak about my breastfeeding journey, you'll know that this was something that was very important to me, a topic that's of great interest to me. So of course I was like, I gotta read this. If you haven't watched that video, I'm just gonna put the link in the description so you can watch it after this one. California, 2008. Evolutionary anthropologist Katie Hinde sits surrounded by hundreds of breast milk samples from rhesus macaque mothers. Thousands of data points, spreadsheets that should tell a simple story about nutrition. But one pattern keeps appearing, and it makes no sense. Mothers with sons are producing milk concentrated with fat and protein, dense, energy-packed nutrition. Mothers with daughters are producing higher volumes with entirely different nutrition profiles, more milk, different composition. It's not random, it's consistent across every sample. Katie checks her methodology, runs the numbers again, reviews everything twice. The pattern doesn't budge. She presents her findings to colleagues. The responses come quickly. Measurement error, statistical noise, probably coincidence. Because if milk composition actually changes based on whether you're feeding a son or daughter, that would mean something biology textbooks never considered. Milk isn't just nutrition, milk is communication. For generations, medical science treated breast milk as biological fuel. Calories go in, babies grow. A natural formula delivering nutrients. Simple, straightforward, case closed. But if milk were only calories, why would it change for different babies? Katie trusted what the data was showing her, and the data was pointing towards something that would change everything. She kept digging. Across 250 mothers and more than 700 samples, the picture grew more complex. Younger, first-time mothers produced milk with fewer calories but significantly elevated cortisol, the stress hormone. Babies drinking high cortisol milk developed differently. They grew faster, became more alert, more vigilant, more cautious, more anxious. Milk wasn't just building bodies, it was shaping personalities, programming behavior, broadcasting information about the world from mother to child through pure chemistry. Then Katie discovered something that shattered every assumption. When a baby nurses, microscopic amounts of saliva flow backward into the breast tissue. That saliva carries biological intelligence, chemical signals about the infant's immune system, about pathogens the baby has encountered, about where the illness is coming. The mother's body reads those signals like a diagnostic report, and within hours the milk transforms. White blood cells surge, antibodies appear, custom designed to fight whatever pathogen the baby's saliva revealed. The milk becomes medicine targeted to threats the mother's body has never personally encountered. Let's just take a break there, guys. Is that not interesting? I don't know, man, but this just gets me so excited. When I read this, I'm like, oh, I want to know more. Anyway, when the baby recovers, the milk returns to normal. This wasn't nutrition being delivered. This was dialogue, a biological conversation refined across millions of years of evolution. Mother and infant exchanging chemical information in real time. The mother's immune system tutoring the baby's defenses before symptoms even emerge. An intelligence transfer happening with every feeding. And medical science had completely overlooked it. Katie began surveying existing research. What she found was staggering. There were twice as many published studies investigating erectile dysfunction as there were studying breast milk composition. Consider that for a moment. Breast milk is the first food every human being consumes, the biological system that sustained every single one of our ancestors long enough to have children of their own, the substance that literally shaped how our species evolved. And we had barely studied how it actually works. I don't know, guys. This stuff is mind-blowing. I love it. Because research funding reflects cultural values, and women's biology, particularly motherhood, has historically been considered less worthy of serious investigation than male sexual function, Katie decided that had to change. Thank you, Katie. In 2011, she launched a blog called Mammals Suck Milk. The intentional double meaning worked. I'm going to put the link of that below. Within a year, over 1 million readers were asking questions science had never properly answered. Guys, over 1 million readers. So I'm not the only one excited by her foundings. Over 1 million readers within a year. The discoveries accelerated. Milk changes throughout the day. Morning milk contains more cortisol to help babies wake up alert. Evening milk has melatonin precursors to help them sleep. I didn't know this stuff. I really didn't. Guys, if you knew what I'm reading here, please comment, in the comment section below. I personally would be interested in knowing, where did you find out about this information? Was it through your own research? How long ago did you find out about this? And was it before or after you had a child? I am finding this after my breastfeeding journey already came to an end. It absolutely would not have had an impact, but it just would have been interesting for me to know, Too much talking. I don't remember where I stopped. Send help. All right. The first milk, foremilk, differs from the last milk, hindmilk. Early milk hydrates. Final milk delivers concentrated calories, naturally teaching babies to finish feeding. Human milk contains over 200 complex sugars called oligosaccharides that babies cannot even digest. They pass through completely unchanged. Why include indigestible compounds? Because they're not food for the baby. They're food for beneficial bacteria in the infant's gut. Milk simultaneously nourishes the child and cultivates their microbiome. Every mother's milk is biologically unique, customized not just to our species, not just to her individual baby, but to the specific moment in that baby's development, the specific environment they're in, the specific immune challenges they're facing right now. In 2017, Katie brought this research to the TED stage, What We Don't Know About Mother's Milk. Over 1.5 million people watched. I'm going to add the link to my description so you can also watch this if you're interested. In 2020, her work reached millions more through the Netflix documentary Babies. Today at Arizona State University's Comparative Lactation Lab, Dr. Katie Hinde continues revolutionizing how we understand infant development, neonatal care, and public health. The implications reach everywhere. Lactation has been evolving for over 200 million years, longer than dinosaurs existed. What we dismissed as simple nutrition is actually one of the most sophisticated communication systems biology ever created. Adaptive, responsive, intelligent. I would like to repeat that. What we dismissed as simple nutrition is actually one of the most sophisticated communication systems biology ever created. That is so powerful. Preterm infants in NICUs receive fundamentally different care now because of this research. Formula manufacturers are redesigning products. Lactation support has improved because we finally understand what milk actually accomplishes. But here's what matters most. Katie Hinde didn't just uncover new facts about milk. She exposed how half the human experience, the biology of mothers and infants, had been systematically under-researched because it was considered less important. She proved that nourishment is intelligence, that the first relationship every human has, mother feeding child, isn't passive delivery but active conversation, and information transfer, and education in immunity, behavior, and survival. Today, comparative lactation is a growing field. New research is entering, new questions being asked, New discoveries emerging constantly. All because one scientist looked at data and contradicted accepted models and asked, what if the data is correct and the model is wrong? Sometimes the most significant revolutions don't require new technology or massive funding. They come from someone paying attention to what everyone else overlooked, from someone trusting what the evidence reveals even when it contradicts textbooks. Katie Hinde thought she was analyzing milk composition. What she uncovered was a conversation 200 million years in the making. Sophisticated, adaptive, intelligent, hidden in plain sight because no one had thought to truly listen. Now we're listening, and what we're hearing changes everything. I absolutely love this. And if you read, did I mention that I'm going to put the link to this post in the description below? If you read the comments below this post, oh my gosh, it is so wholesome, so satisfying. I have so much to say about this stuff, but I'm gonna save that for the next few episodes. I would like to know if you found this as interesting as I did. Like, which aspects of this post did you find most interesting? And which aspects of breastfeeding would you like to know more about? So I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share this video with other mummies, other parents, pregnant mamas, breastfeeding mamas. I found it absolutely interesting. Like this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.